I think we're live.
Well,
ladies and gentlemen,
then.
4:03 p.m. Canoga Park, California, live with THRASHIN Supply, Lance Coury Jr. and Juan Arceo, the engineer. Take it from here.
Engineer.
What a great week.
Or what?
What a great week.
Huh?
Locomotive.
Yeah.
Engineer?
That's where I started.
I dig it.
So our drops have been, they're 3 deep now or 2 deep?
3 deep.
3 deep, Sturgis, without the rally, and Deadwood, we're doing the history. It's so awesome. You got to get there. Every Wednesday they drop. You can catch up on it. You really should see it if you want to know what that place is like.
Well, I'm really happy with the way yesterday's is performing.
Oh, yeah.
We did a little different style there. There wasn't as much writing in it. It was really history, talk about the town. We went to the Adams house. We went to a brothel. The next two are going to be the same way, but I mean, we've
You
had
guys
a lot.
went to a running brothel?
Yeah. No, it closed in 1980.
Yes, it's
So,
1980.
I mean, that's how long it.
Yeah.
Well,
Crazy. House of ill repute.
yeah, if you go back the last 2, there's a lot of riding. There's some good stuff. You'll really dig it. We have Josh. He's jumping around back there trying to fix some stuff. Is everything cool?
We are all golden.
All golden.
So you guys.
Wait, before
Sorry,
we get
wait.
into this,
What?
Sorry, I'm not paying attention. I'm trying to share the link to our Instagram real quick.
Well,
Well,
get
that's
it going.
cool. While
Let's
he's
go.
not paying attention,
I just feel kind of rude doing this, but I'm just trying to share it.
subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell your friends to do the same thing because it's really important. It helps our videos, and we love it when you do that. So do that. Or I'll fire you.
He has no right to fire you, so I'll hire you back at
So-
a higher pay rate, too.
So I got to say, we go to Sturgis every year. We do a lot of trips on our own. We go to Sturgis every year. But when we go with the Thrashin crew and these guys, it is just one hell of a good time. I mean, there's usually 10 of us, and we have a blast riding there. I mean, what a great time it is.
So I want to follow up that statement with the fact that these two old fellows had never ridden a Sturgis before. And I was actually the one riding the Sturgis over a decade ago in my early 20s. I think I was 21, 22 when I went to Sturgis for my first time. I used my dad's bike.
Yes, brand new bike, by the way.
How'd the fender come home? How was that?
I used his bike, and at the time I only owned a Dyna, and the group of guys I was riding with had it was
Baggers, right?
Yeah, and they had a bunch of baggers, and they said I wasn't allowed to go unless I had a bagger. I was like, shit. And I at the time, I couldn't afford to buy a second bike, and so I was like, Dad, can I please borrow your bike? So I did the trip. Ever since then, I've done the trip. I missed 1 year, but I think about 3 years into that, it was when I was like, you guys got to do this trip. Like, you guys were already riding on the weekends and doing like 3-day trips.
Yeah, maybe 3.
And I was like, you guys got to come for the week because it's a freaking blast. And then we did that, and we've all been hooked ever since. I mean,
Well, we had Mike Tarantino with us.
yeah. Well, I think
that's how long ago it was.
But I think the fun part is that is the age difference. Like,
Yeah.
right? Like, we have I mean, I'm in my 30s now, but we started doing this when I was in my 20s. You guys were in your 80s. And
Wow, he's on our show dissing us.
Why is Juan laughing so hard?
So we've had a blast. But yeah, I just wanted to say that it's cool to see that you guys have gone to Sturgis when nothing was going on, and I'm actually a little jealous of that.
What do we have? Like 7 trips under our belt
6
together,
or
all of
7,
us?
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 6 all of us. I think I've done 3 without you guys.
Yeah. Well, it's a
So
blast.
this will be our 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite run?
My favorite run.
With us, not with your...
Yeah, no, I would say that, man, that's tough. I think every run has had like the moments where you're like, how are we so far behind and it's dark and rainy and cold? And then every time there's been amazing ones. I think they all have their memories.
I think
There's
my
not a
favorite was the first year, but I also loved the Oregon coast, the California, Oregon,
That was good.
the Columbia Gorge.
Yeah, that was incredible.
The year we had you guys at the cabin was, I mean, it's hard.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
And that's the thing is that every time we've gone,
Yeah.
we've done like a way different way there. So it's uncomparable. You can't even if we took the same freeway every time, then you might be able to be like, well, I had the most fun on this one.
I mean, think about the first year at Lusk, and we're at the covered wagons, and we get there at night. You've purchased some firecrackers and shit, right? You're blowing those things off. Dude and his lady are there just laying it full nude as you walk by.
Couple has their door open and their window open. They're butt ass naked on the bed.
Nice.
I walked by like not even thinking about
Right.
it, and then I like stopped when I went past the room. I was like, "Fuck, were they naked?"
Full on door
And
open.
I moonwalked backwards, so like it was in reverse. I was like, "Yeah, they're naked," and then
Kept going.
So
cruised
what,
through.
Juan? You're 2 or 3 deep with us.
So I've only ridden
No.
once.
Really?
Yeah, with
So
you
that was the
guys.
one time?
That was
Okay.
the one time. I've gone like 4 times. Back when I was at Vance and Hines, I would go work the rally.
Gotcha.
They had a tent at J&P Cycles and at Black Hills.
That's not fun though.
It's different. Yeah, long days. So it was cool experiencing both sides of the rally as somebody working the event and as somebody riding there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's
very
going to be interesting for us this year because we've gone every year for fun, and last year kind of did some meet and greet stuff, and this year we're doing stuff with Harley, we're doing stuff with Clockworks and Legend. It's almost like we're going to be like busy, but
Yeah.
still having fun.
Yeah, we'll have a meet and greet schedule out here shortly.
Well, to say that though, we are 30 days away from
Oh,
departing.
I know.
Yeah.
And 4th of July weekend's here, which is amazing. And so we're gonna go 4th of July weekend. It's gonna fly by. Next week's a short week, 4 days, and it's just gonna steamroll. And I was just telling Juan, I was like, dude, I really want to ride the Lowrider ST. After riding it to
Right. Born Free.
Born Free, I had such like it rode so good on the freeway, and it rode smooth. It didn't like it blocked the wind for me enough. And I was like, I could ride this thing to Sturgis. And then I looked at Juan yesterday or today, and I was like, we got to get to work on this thing if I'm going to ride it there. So
Right.
I have plans of painting it, but I called the painter, and I was like, yo, I know you were going to paint my bike this month, but let's paint it after
I'd
Sturgis.
paint it after.
Yeah.
Go get the road rash and then paint it.
Yeah. So I halted the paint job.
Yeah.
I'm going to put some parts on it to make it comfortable because it needs bars and risers. They're too low and far away. It needs an exhaust because the thing sounds like a sewing machine. It needs a tune too because honestly, when you crack the throttle on it, it's slow. It's super hesitated.
It's delayed. I think they programmed that into it, so it like gets better gas mileage.
So are you adding the training wheels to it? Because I saw in your vlog,
Yeah.
I think he may have hit a white line and almost taken Josh out.
Dude,
I totally
But wait, are your tires too full?
no,
there?
just they were actually perfect with air
Yeah.
because we checked the
We set
PSI
up
when we
to
drag raced.
It was, I mean, it was like pretty oiled up there. I got a little excited, dropped clutch, and it went right out. So
Well, we got a couple comments on YouTube. Dude, I almost crashed right there too.
No way.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I just think either the dust on the tires from the
Right.
from the road in,
Little
or road
slick.
out. I think that the heat, that paint was such a big patch.
right. It just,
I mean, I didn't even get on it, and I almost. The worst part about it, what was going through my head in that split second, was I've laid bikes down plenty of times. I've crashed my Harley, okay? But I've laid down my Dyna when it also had custom hard bags on it and fully scratched them.
With
Right.
brand new
Yeah.
tires.
right.
Brand new tires, and I was a goon, and I didn't even like dump the clutch or anything. I came out of the corner, cruised, wasn't even thinking about it, and the bike just was on ice. It spun out from under me.
I know what it's like to
And-
have an ice bike on ice.
And I ground the side of my bag off, and like when that happened and I was on the ST and it's only got 300 miles on it, I was
Oh.
just thinking to myself, if I blow these bags out
There we
right
go.
now,
Yeah.
you know they're going to be on back order
Right.
for
You're
like
not getting
6
them.
months.
Yeah.
You're gonna run it
Sure.
naked.
Yeah.
Fairing.
Such a
Everything.
bummer. Yeah.
So is it going to be your bagger or going to be the ST, or do you know yet?
I don't know yet. We're still going back and forth. I'm trying to convince Juan to buy a bagger.
I really
One,
want one,
you gotta
but
get it
got
back.
30 days.
You
I don't know if I
could do it.
Now he's like, oh, 30 days. I don't know if we can do it. Is he tripping? We just did a handlebar, our new top clamp gauge relocation install in 2 hours last night.
Yeah.
I'm like, we'll do the bars and risers in a day. We'll do the foot controls.
Easy.
Done.
We'll throw slip-ons
We'll
on
work
it.
on it with you.
We'll throw
There it
slip-ons
is.
on it. Slip-ons,
Yeah.
bars, risers,
And you're
foot
good.
controls, and a seat. And that bike's basically done.
We
It's
have
good
some
enough.
Cobra El Diablos right here.
you got them
Black
ready to
chrome.
go.
He's going to run some V&H's that he engineered.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, my brother just picked up Road Glide ST yesterday, and I'm like, damn.
So your
that's
brother's
awesome.
ahead of you. He's beating you right
He's
now.
beating me, and that fired me up.
Well,
I
wait a
definitely-
second. he used my bike on his trip to Sturgis. You could maybe use your brother.
Yeah,
Oh, I
no,
don't
he's
think
going
so.
to. He's going with his friends.
Oh, is
but,
he?
Yeah, definitely fired me up to try to get one. I know we could get it dialed if I get it now.
Day
but
one or
I'm-
one day, dude.
If you get it 2 days before, we'll get you dialed.
Yeah.
All right, there it is.
We'll
We'll
spend-
keep looking.
we'll spend
So
hours
we're gonna
with
try
him.
to get one to get a bagger. He's got 30 days, and what we'll do is we'll vlog us putting every part on in one day.
And then we'll vlog
Is that
us
the Iron Butt
riding to
Challenge?
Sturgis.
It's the Iron Build Challenge.
Iron Build Challenge.
So I don't know. I know you guys have seen our videos of. You saw the one of us going to Sturgis without a rally, but I know for the last last year or so, 2 years maybe, you've seen us going to Sturgis with these guys, and we have fun. And we're gonna have fun again. Luke's going with us. You, Juan, me, Galen, Josh, and Luke.
Hopefully
Is that-
Dom.
and maybe Dom.
Maybe
yeah.
Dom. That's the maybe Dom.
And we know Cole Seeley's doing Supercross, so he's not going with us.
Yeah, what's his? Is he Australia or what's he doing?
It's a World Series, so he's doing like a couple continents, I guess. But it's like 3 or 4 races. I don't know the details.
It's not a big schedule.
No, it's like 4 races, and it's like Australia, Europe, Dubai. Like
He's getting back into it a little bit.
yeah, he said it was like a no pressure race. He does miss racing, but he doesn't miss the pressure.
Right.
And so he's like, yeah, it's no pressure, it's decent pay, and like I have something to do. So
Right.
yeah,
Well,
he's
that's
just having
good.
fun.
Wish he was going though. It was fun riding with him there.
Yeah, no, totally gonna.
The whole
I'm
group.
glad he's not going.
The only problem
But-
is the only problem is that when Cole goes, him and I are always fucking
I
around.
know, but it's fun.
And that's how I got my speeding ticket.
Right. And you were maybe losing the race. I don't know.
No, he was ahead, right? And Cole caught
No,
him.
Cole was past him, and then he lit up and
Yeah.
He got faster, and so
I
that's how
sped
they
up to
clocked
catch
him.
Cole.
Yeah,
But the cop said that.
He's like, I caught both of you, and I'm giving you a ticket.
Right.
Pointed me out. I'm like,
what is your dad rolled up on it too?
my dad came up was like, hey, like I think he tried to get me out of it.
I
He
was
was like,
gonna-
get the fuck out of here.
Like, get out of here! What are you doing?
So
So mentioning though that the short time frame that we got, like 3 or 4 weeks.
yeah,
Like I saw Josh shaking over there because he's got to get 7 edits done in 5 weeks, 4 weeks. You
Wow.
okay with that, big boy?
Well, let's see.
My mic. There's my mic. You know what? We'll see. I might figure it out. I was really ahead like 2 weeks ago,
Yep.
and then we had walk-ins and this and that, and we had a whole container show up today, moved 500 boxes. I'm playing it by ear.
Do you
We'll
need
see.
a sidekick for an editor?
Yeah, if,
Lance and I are
if there's a
available.
sidekick out there that wants to edit for free and will not fuck it up, come on by.
So, what's up with you?
A lot.
Like, we're totally out of Born Free.
Uh-huh.
Dude, he's famous.
And everyone is all over your shit.
Oh,
Like,
God.
are you a YouTube star now?
You're the taco man.
No, I'm bumming off of your guys' fame,
I don't
honestly.
think so.
That's
you
that's
guys,
what it is.
What did you start the YouTube a long time ago? But you really started doing the
This year.
vlogging this year, right?
like January or something like that, February.
So you've been having a shit ton of fun with it,
Yeah,
and all of
honestly.
a sudden this guy's starting to get famous.
Well, the thing that's funny about our vlog is that I have 0 editing experience.
You're doing a good job.
And so our first vlog, I came back and it was like half the footage was blurry. You know, people were yelling at me when they were watching it. Your sound's too loud. Your this is too loud. Like,
right.
so I just kept learning how to edit. And I'm not an editor. You know, I'm a motorcycle rider first and foremost. And so I'm just like trying to edit, trying to do everything at the shop that I normally do. And it's gotten fun. I've been able to edit them a little bit faster. I remember my first edit took me like a week to do, and it was like a 10-minute edit, and that was like ridiculous. And then they started taking me like 3-4 days, then 3 days, and now I'm able to kind of get, you know, a full day vlog kind of edited in one day, which is
That's
fair.
good.
I'm sure Josh could do it in half the time, but at this end of the day, like, you know, it's cool, and I think it's really cool. It really opens up my eyes to, you know, how much fun we really have, because sometimes it's cool to like kind of actually like watch what we did and then go like, damn, that was a fun day.
Well,
and it's
you're-
funny like when my friends watch it and they're like, dude, I didn't realize how much fun we had that day.
I mean, you're going
But-
to go back 10 years from now and go, shit, we were doing a taco run.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
the cool-
you know.
I watched a lot of your vlogs, obviously. But the Born Free one, that was a really cool, fun action. There was food, Born Free riding. It was just kind of a cool.
Yeah, it really just showed how all 5 of us act on a normal day. I mean, it really showed everybody just kind of being themselves, which is really cool.
Well, people notice, and they've commented before, that when we do our Sturgis or our Young Gun rides with you guys, and we should do another Young Gun thing, they notice that the history and all that stuff is a little less, and it's a little more drinking and cussing and just.
I mean, that's the thing, right?
You don't cuss.
That's the thing. They may hold back in the 2LaneLIVE vlogs or their edits. Theirs aren't even vlogs. Theirs are proper edits, and they do an amazing job. And they put together a piece that really is very, you could say, like tasteful and something you could show your kids, your grandparents, yourself, and enjoy it. And it is something that's super respectful. Ours, you get a little bit more rough on the edges.
I think it's raw.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
absolutely.
people need to see that a
Yeah.
little bit. We tend to be more cinematic because we're trying to tell a story about stuff, but I think there's a place for it too. I mean, look at the subscribers you've grown and the views that you get on them.
But check this out. The last 2 videos, YouTube yelled at us because we didn't let them know there was that much cussing in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
2
have
of our
to-
videos, they like dinged us. They were like,
Right.
they
YouTube
were
jail.
like, ding, like,
Yeah.
No.
you cussed too much in this and didn't tell us.
Yeah.
Wow.
Honestly, it
You
was like a
have to-
mistake. We
You have
didn't.
to click like
Yeah.
adult or
We missed.
Right.
We
Yeah.
missed what it was for and like the level of like
Right.
rated R it was.
So it
Right.
still plays, right? It's
It plays, but I'm sure they don't let as many people see it,
Right.
and they start like,
It's mostly an ad revenue thing.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, it's all about money. So the cool thing is we're going to go to Sturgis, and Thrashin's going to be doing their style vlogs. We'll all be in it. We'll be doing our style videos, and they'll all be in it. So it's going to be a really cool mix of.
Yeah, check
Yeah.
out both channels.
Yeah.
And
It'll be fun.
Sturgis draws. I mean, that's the times we've had the most growth has been around a Sturgis drop.
yeah.
Like a year and a half ago when we went, we had been 6 months or whatever into the channel. Boom, we hit Sturgis and we shoot up over 10,000.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Well, one thing that's really cool is for us, we watch Thrashin, and they have a young team over there, and there's these all bunch of hardworking people and great ideas. And the really thing that's cool is when they come up with ideas for parts and their baggers, we get to test them, and we get to put them through several miles and rain and snow and wind, and come back and give them their opinions, our opinions, and they fix them up, and we get to run them. So it's pretty cool. But you do a lot of engineering. Your ideas have been from day one of just making some cool stuff. But it's all come together so cool, and watching this company grow is awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to have a team like you guys that actually goes out and puts miles on all of our products. That's actually something that's pretty challenging in other companies for liability reasons. And it was definitely at my old job, it was tough sending out on a guy to do 800 miles on a day or something.
Right.
And it was a lot harder. So it's really nice having you
So
guys.
Are you saying you're sending us out on equipment that's
No,
gonna fail?
you guys are doing
It's
testing.
nice.
Real
You guys
world.
can go down. It doesn't.
If there's a plastic part on your bike, just ignore it.
Just
It's
ignore
fine.
it.
It's fine. It
I
looks
was
plastic.
wondering. I had the riser with it was printed 3D,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But it held up.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. If it falls off, just give us a call. We'll pick you up.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a very cool thing because obviously Juan rides, I ride, you two ride, and we ride a lot. We don't just ride a little bit. And the cool part is that we can test it to a certain extent that we can appreciate and we can get our feedback. And then it's also cool to go, okay, these guys have a totally different riding style than us when they do these types of trips. And then they don't hold back when it's raining, snowing. You guys will ride through tons of different weather conditions. And so that feedback's always amazing, especially when him and I are in the shop working on a new part and we just don't have the time
Right.
that month to get out. And we're like, oh, my dad and Galen are going out to Sturgis this month and they're going to go ride through rain and snow. Well, they don't know this yet, but like we're imagining it might happen. And like you guys were able to test a lot of our new waterproof gear when
Great
you
stuff.
guys rode there, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers you know, maybe they didn't know, but if they look hard enough at the stuff you're wearing, they could see that you guys are testing it out there. So you guys are giving us your initial feedback. Did you get wet? Is it fit right? Were you comfortable? You know, all of these different pieces of feedback that, you know, we already took into consideration before we started designing it, but then nothing tells the story or gives you feedback like real road use.
But the cool thing about you guys at Thrashin also is you can burn out, you can do the wheelie, you can do the fun young stuff, but you guys actually really like to travel. You
Yeah.
love going on trips.
Like twice a year, though.
Well, I think
Like,
it's a
don't give
different
them
thing.
that big kudos.
I think the hard part is that I mean, not for Juan, but a lot of the young guns that have been in the rides, let's say the Kern River ride that was a rad trip that they vlogged, or did you guys Mammoth? Did you do the Mammoth?
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
yeah. So some of those cats that were with us on those rides have had kids since then.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh,
right.
it
And so
changes.
that's the problem, right? I got a
Yeah.
2-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Yep.
You know, Cody's got a 3 or 4-year-old. Aaron's got a 3-year-old and 2 twins that are 1. And so, like, those are just two or three of my friends. I could list more
Right.
people on those rides that also have kids, and they're all under 4.
Right.
Right? And so, in that stint of that, you know, the last 2 to 3 years that we were doing young gun runs, these friends of mine have all had kids. And so it's not as easy to line them all up on the
No,
same
for
weekend.
sure.
They all still have their bikes and they all
Right.
still ride. Every person I named, Cody's got his bike, Aaron's got his bike, Thomas has his bike, I still have my bikes. We all still ride, but being able to take off for a night or 2, 3 nights, or being able to take off for a full day
Yeah.
is harder. It's hard enough for me to convince all 4 of them to go ride on the same day.
But that's how your dad and I had Justin, he was this big, you were this big, and you were riding, and we would go see you, and then as they got older, because wait till they get older, then
Right.
they've got dance and this and whatever, and they're in different, you know, events, and so now it further separates the time you get to spend with your friends,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, and so you have to make that time.
I mean, me and Juan are super fortunate too that like I am able to make that time during
Yeah.
the week. It is part of work, so you know if we do need to test a part or we need to, you know, go have a meeting with somebody or we need to go, you know, visit a manufacturing plant that we're working with.
Right.
You know, we may just hop on our bikes
And go.
It'll kind of kill a couple birds with one stone. Not only do we get to have fun riding, not only do we get to test a part on the way to the location, but then also kind of when you show up to that location on the bike, maybe with, you know, a part we're working on, it killed a couple birds with one stone. I did it when my kids were at school. So I'm still riding. I still love it, but it is harder for my buddies that have 50 to 60 hour plus work weeks, come home, they're fried, and then they
No, for
got
sure.
their kids at home.
But there's a cool
as
thing.
As a former banker, though, what I wanted to say, because we were talking about thrashing a little bit, and then keep your thought, cool thing. But I had you up on a billboard, and this
Yep.
was like 4 or 5 years ago. And for me as a banker to watch a guy that started on your dad's, you probably started in the garage, but when you were over
So-
here in the corner,
It's funny you say that because one of the warehouse kids couldn't figure out how to sign into one of our shipping applications. And he's like, hey, I can't figure out the password. Like a couple of the other computers have the password saved. And I was like, I typed in one of the passwords I thought didn't work. Typed in another password I thought didn't work. And then I called my wife. I asked for the password. And boy, this password that is for this account is something that I would have thought of 15 years ago. I'm like, we're still using that type of password. So it's just funny to think of things that are like,
yeah, but for me to see the growth that you've had and this cool vibe that, I mean, you brought in Juan and Jake is a full-time designer, the kids that are over there that help us out every day with part orders, but it's just so cool to see this kind of, it's more of a youthful movement to
Totally.
Harley.
Totally.
And not everyone is going to do the T-bars and all this, but it's, I think with the Bagger Racing League and people trying to do their bikes a little differently from a performance perspective, the parts you guys are putting out, not only are they quality and made in the USA, they're cool and they've got the cool factor. you
But
know?
even for
And
traveling,
it's-
guys like us that want to hit the road, they're great. But there's this thing we always talk about fate. Like, so Gail and Josh and I, we can go anywhere and ride. We get along, but we get along with the Thrashin guys. And by the way, we're in the same parking lot. We're in the same complex as them, so really makes it easy. But with you and Juan, you guys have fun wherever you go, whether it's in a car or in a truck or a bike or whatever. So when we all go on trips, we've never had issues on these trips, and that makes it even more fun.
Well, I think that's what keeps us close, right?
Yeah.
Is that, like, at the end of the day, you know, the 5 people sitting in this room, nobody gets butthurt really.
Ever.
And it's like the type of thing we know that we all can handle ourselves. And look at you two. No, we all can handle ourselves. And, like, the biggest issue is, like, the complainer. You know, no one's a complainer here. Like, somebody wakes up hungover, they understand and take into consideration it's their fault.
Right.
And, like, they're not going to slow the trip down. Or they're not going to be the Debbie Downer that ruins the next day.
Luke's kind of a really.
You know, but we've had guys like that around before that, like, could have put a bad vibe out on the day, and then they're being a little bitch.
We don't like that.
You know, so it's like that, and then we all know, you know, we're all ready to jump in and help each other if a bike breaks down, get our hands dirty, get on the floor, you know, like, whatever, lay on the ground to fix somebody's bike. We do what we have to do. And no one here leaves anybody behind. And, like, those are key things that create the bond that, like, makes it to where we like being around each other because we can rely on each other.
Yeah, and that's a cool thing. But we don't just depend on Sturgis. Like you say, we've done Mammoth, we've done Death Valley, Kern, all of us. You know.
Yeah, but I'll just say I was a little bit bitchy, born free.
Were you?
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Was it because your throttle had
'Cause
no?
I had no throttle movement.
I was so bummed
Like,
because
why do you get me twice?
I
Why-
can't
I was
believe
bummed
you didn't
because
get
I had
that.
Why do you
as-
get me twice?
the thing is I had the camera running,
Yeah.
and, like, I turned it off, and, like, literally 2 seconds after I turned the camera off, he does that to you. I tried to turn it back on. I got, like, the last bit of you guys kind of ruffling.
Yeah.
It was perfect though
I tried to
because
hit him though. I tried to take him down with my crash bar.
most times when you get that on somebody, they'll know and they'll, like, turn it back on. But Galen didn't realize his bike was off, so he,
I
like,
thought I no, you know
throttles
what
it.
happened? I did flip it back on. Then I'm like, no, flip, and I flipped it off again.
So he did it to himself.
Yeah.
But he throttled it and it went nowhere. That was, like, the funniest part. I'm glad you didn't catch that. But, yeah, it was
So,
fun.
like, what's going on with that? Why do you do that?
Well,
Is that
it
because
was-
I pointed down at the ground at you earlier in the day?
Did you catch that? I think it.
Yeah,
you
I
filmed it,
I
but
caught that where
You
he
couldn't
was
tell
messing
what
with
was
you.
going on. That was a good one.
I
You got
caught
me
you.
good there, so
All
I had
right.
to retaliate.
All
for
right.
Sure.
To retaliate.
Oh man.
But this is what we do.
Yeah, always a fun time.
Always
for
a
sure.
fun.
So what's your background, Juan?
My background. Oh, I have. I grew up working on cars and.
With that being
bikes.
said, find his YouTube page. There's a video of him in, like, a 1993 Miata that he's
Yeah,
doing
300
burnout.
ZX. That was my first car.
That he's
Oh,
doing
yeah.
burnouts.
Yeah.
That he's doing
Yeah,
burnouts
turbo.
in the
Yeah.
I'm looking
Sturgis.
that up. I'm sharing a YouTube channel.
Yeah. So yeah, I grew up wrenching on stuff and designing stuff. I really enjoyed it, but I knew I didn't want to be a mechanic for life, and so the next best thing is designing stuff. I still get to put stuff on cars and bikes, but I don't have to rely on that for a living. I guess
Because you have a lot of cars and bikes.
I do, yeah. It's my parents always complain about it, and my excuse was like, well, I could be addicted to drugs and
Right.
drinking or cars and bikes, and I'll do it safely. So that was kind of my thing. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I grew up wrenching on things and designing and fabricating. Not necessarily at that time because it was something I enjoyed. At that time, it was like out of necessity. I think that's what sparked a lot of the creativity in me. Like, oh, I don't have this tool, but I can make it, or I can make something that will do the same thing as a tool. And, kind of that design or that approach, that way of thinking applies to a lot of things in designing. When you have a problem, you think of solutions, not necessarily a solution that's existing, but you think outside the box. How can I find a solution differently?
Right.
And I think that's...
So did you go to school for engineering or no?
I did. So I went to Cal State Long Beach,
Okay.
and I studied aerospace engineering. Very similar to mechanical. I have two older brothers, and they're both engineers, and they kind of like guided me in that direction. But I didn't want to do mechanical because the last year of mechanical, they teach you how to build stuff. And since I grew up doing that, I wanted to learn a little bit more. So I learned a little bit more of the designing and like simulation stuff. So very similar. Again, a lot of the aerospace engineers can work as mechanicals and vice versa. But yeah,
So yeah, I mean,
And you were
I've
at
learned a
Vance and
lot.
Hines for how long?
I was at Vance and Hines for 7 years. I started off there as an intern while I was still in school at Long Beach, and then when I graduated, they hired me on full time.
Nice.
And you and Lance rode together a few times, right?
Yeah, we had both gotten hired by Harley, and we did a shoot in Miami. So we were riding Sportsters. We were riding Sportsters kind of like back and forth through the city of Miami and like across those kind of freeways that go over the water.
Oh, the
right
bridges
there.
out
Yeah.
to the Keys.
Yeah.
So we did a little bit of that for a week together, and we had some fun and nice, and we just stayed friends, you know.
Yeah.
And we, you know, I think we, you know, I think the funny thing is we tried to go on our first ride together back here in Malibu, and his first ride, I don't even know the true story, but I'm already out waiting for him, and then he calls me. He's like, my bike broke down. I had to push it 50 miles off the freeway.
No, so actually, it was back. I was still at Vance and Hines, and it was actually the dyno that I own now. I ended up buying it 3 years later, or 4 years later, however long it was. But yeah, I was on my way. I was like getting close to PCH, and it just died on me. I was like on the carpool lane, like hauling ass. I was like, I think I was running late, and it just completely like no signs or anything. It just turned off. So like I coasted it over, and then the nearest exit was like a huge hill. And I had to push that thing up there. I hated that bike. I cursed it. I was like, man, this thing's a pile of junk.
And now it's your bike.
And now I own it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a funny
So you
story.
guys did that
So
shoot.
you
I mean,
didn't ride together.
Yeah.
No, we didn't ride together.
Not that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Another buddy that was on the Miami shoot did meet up with me, so him and I went.
Yeah.
And yeah, we tried to just have a, you know, kind of, what do you call that when you meet back up after a couple months?
Reunion.
A reunion.
Reunion.
A reunion of all the riders that were at the shoot.
See,
So you guys only rode one Harley shoot together,
Yes.
and then have you done any other after that, or?
not Harley shoots, but Lance was actually at a lot of the races I used to go to. I used to do a lot of the hooligan racing,
Uh-huh.
and Lance was the
Announcer.
Oh,
announcer.
so you were racing when he was doing the stuff that
Yeah.
Mama tried.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah,
Like,
so we met in Miami. That was like where we hung out. And then that was, well, let's just say 5 years ago or something. And then every year after that, we would go meet up at Flat Out Friday or any of the Harley hooligan races that Harley would hire me to announce. And then he would be racing it. And at the time, we had a good time in Miami. So if we were in another town together, he'd be like, yo, let's grab drinks tonight or whatever.
And it's a weird thing for me to think that how we all came together, and every one of us has actually done work with Harley Davidson and ridden bikes. You did the Pan Americas. I mean, all the shots of the Pan America really getting rad in there are you. But it's like we just got guys that wanted to ride Harleys, and then we ended up working with Harley. And
Well, I
we
think-
still have relationships.
I think
with
it's
them.
just the genuine passion, right? Like we are sharing what we do a lot. You guys share what you
Right.
do through your videos. He's in the industry and he's passionate about it. I'm in the industry and I'm passionate about it. And at the end of the day, you can see that Harley has been doing a decent job lately of every once in a while they skew off and get some random like rapper to ride a bike that you know doesn't ride a bike. But
Right.
you know, they've been doing a decent job of hiring real riders and guys who own their bikes and guys who have put tens of thousands of miles on their bikes and not just getting a famous face,
Right.
you know, or a stunt guy to basically ride the bike and try to, you know, mimic what they should be doing.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, and they still like us, even though we've dinged a couple bikes up.
We're the fleet wreckers.
Yeah. See, you guys do testing for them too.
Yeah. Exactly.
Especially my little friend over there.
Oh yeah, reach back and get that saddlebag corner.
We got a couple
Juan knows about that
nads
one.
in here. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little fly
Oh,
that's
there
just
it is. It's
fucking
got
with
a
me right
cool,
now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Look at
This is
that.
Speaking
That's
of that,
that's my souvenir.
that's a CVO saddlebag corner that on the Highway
fault.
190 in on the way to Death Valley
Just
with the
outside
Young
of
Guns.
Atlantia.
Josh didn't finish that trip
That
with
was
us.
our current
No.
trip.
Yeah.
But I did get to test out the THRASHIN Atlas jacket, and it performed.
Which
Real well.
Great.
It worked in both of you. did.
Juan's actually wondering why the shocks on his Dyna haven't been replaced yet.
You know what? I haven't gotten around to that, have I?
You guys said you guys are going to get him Legends shocks.
All right, let's do it. I
And-
can't believe we didn't follow up on that.
My guys got scratched, bent up,
No, we got to fix
shocks
that.
on his bike. from
Full
that
on
crash.
punched out primary. You know.
We put stickers over that primary.
Juan's a survivor. Juan and Josh are.
Finished the ride, and yeah, it was.
We almost lost another thrashing guy at one point, too.
So basically, everyone in this room has been on the ground
One time.
at one
At
time or
least
another. I saw you in Mojave.
Okay, that's different.
Man.
What about when you went off-roading? Where were we going that trip? You
I
just,
didn't go on
went-
the ground.
We were going to Kern.
Oh, we were on the way to Kern.
And again, no one had their camera on. Like,
Yeah.
So when he took his CVO in the mud?
Yeah, in the mud.
Yeah.
I was like, nicest bike, I had seen in a while, and just 1 second, it's just covered in mud everywhere.
I'm sitting
But I
there
didn't
watching
go
him
down.
go off the pavement, and I'm going, he's going in the dirt, and it just poured rain for a week. And then I see him just, bowl.
Yeah, that wasn't the
no,
smartest.
he didn't just bowl. He dropped off of like a little ledge into
Yeah,
the
got
bowl.
some air.
Well, so what the deal was, I came down in, and it was nice, and I was just, if it would have been a mile earlier, I would have come out of it easy. But all of a sudden, it shut down to either a puddle of water or a little narrow up, and I knew I'd launch out into the road if I went up that. There's
This
no
is
way.
a CVO street
So
glide.
I'm like, I'm going right into the mud puddle, and whatever happens, and it just stopped me like a truck stop, as
I-
the runaway truck lanes.
I thought I saw it like 45 degrees. Is that considered?
No.
No.
So
Well,
what?
that's one thing that always bums me out. There's been a couple, funny instances like that. Okay, back to you shutting his bike off. You jumping off a dirt fucking jump into mud. A lot of kind of like funny situations, and the camera's always off.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when Josh crashed, like
No
camera
cameras.
was off. Like
Yeah.
I swear, whenever I ride with you guys, especially like 2 years ago when you started doing this,
Yeah.
you guys used to have the camera out
All the
way
time.
too much. I mean, they would just ride with the camera on all the time. I could only imagine what Josh had to go through to edit these things.
Yeah. I mean, I
And
would
it's
be.
like, you guys would have your camera on the whole frickin' day, and I'd be like, dude, did you get that? And you'd be like, oh, I had my camera off.
So they're not on as much
I'm
as
like
you think.
the 1% time when it needed to be on, and you guys.
So here's
blew it.
here's the thing that's really interesting. This year when we go to Sturgis, there's going to be a lot more cameras on, including yours.
I film a lot less, and I always find the less I film, the faster they edit.
Me too. After Josh
Yep.
yelled at me.
Yep.
Yeah, like I'll just do like minute stints of like funny situations. I hand the camera over to
And
Juan,
he's just going.
and I'll have a 10-minute clip. I'm like,
No.
bro, I gotta watch through this 10-minute clip.
Well,
No, but
30
see, I'm
seconds
trying.
on.
I'm trying to avoid not capturing those moments. The moments
Right.
that we all want to capture.
Well-
so it's kind of like you're fighting that battle.
Right.
Of when do we turn it off?
Josh loves it when we put him back in the dash, and a half hour later it was been filming the whole time.
I'll get back to the drawing board, and I'll look at all these little thumbnails on the computer, and it's just black, 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 black. And the GoPro separates the file after 5 minutes. So when I see 10 of them, or a
He
little
knows
more,
what it
that's
is.
an hour of just filming in your glove box. And I'm not going to listen to the whole thing.
Well, the
I'm not
worst part
checking.
about that is then you think it's off, but it's really on, and then now you're trying to capture something, and you actually turn it off.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
we
been
had
a-
that during the drag race
Yep.
last week on our vlog.
I think Jake's done that a couple of
Yeah.
times.
So, talk to us a little bit about, you just launched the relocation kit, right?
Yeah, about a
week ago, 2
Well,
weeks
we
ago?
launched it early last month, early this month, so beginning of the month. Started shipping them about a week or two ago.
They're incredible, right? I mean, just you got the lock, the engineering behind it.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about it is that, we aren't first to market with a gauge relocation, but we are first to market on a couple cool features with it, and that's one thing that, again, kind of like Juan said, with the reason why he became an engineer and even wanted to, was that we like to think outside the box and do things that haven't been done. Right. So it's like, you know, okay, people are already moving their gauges. We're not just going to come out with another billet gauge relocation. Like, what can we do different? And, you know, and so then it started to incorporate what materials can we use, and that's how we started using carbon. You know, we haven't seen that done on a gauge relocation, and then, or at least not in the way that we're using it. And then, you know, again, kind of going back down to the tree with the multiple locations of adjustability.
Yep.
You know, that just kind of came from basically, I rode the bike with, we had made a tree with a stock location, and the bike still felt long. It just still felt really uncomfortable, because you have to think when you get on a stock bagger, where the stock mounting location is versus where the grips are,
Right.
is way further back than you think.
Right.
So you're on a stock bike right off the showroom floor. You're already 8 inches further back from
So
where
that's how Harley got you to sit in a more not reaching.
Yes, your back
They
more
pull the
upright.
bars
They
back.
pull the bars back. They're these giant, long buckhorn back bars, right?
Right.
So the problem is that I want to move this real quick. Sorry if it makes noise. The problem is that then when you go off those same holes, you lose all of this, and you're doing this,
Right.
right? But like a lot worse. You're not just coming up. You're like going forward.
Which would be okay for a tall person.
Yeah. So if you want the stock location and you have really long arms, it's fine, you know?
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know, it's like I rode the bike and we changed riser heights, we changed bar heights, and I was just like, man, I'm reaching
Right.
to this thing. Like I like my riser adapter better than this. Like I was like kind of anti it, like, because the riser adapter comes back.
Right.
And I was like, man,
And if you have the pullback, you're even better.
but the pullback didn't help enough off of the
Right,
stock
off the
tree.
stock.
Wasn't far enough back. So I was
Right.
like, it's just not far enough back. And then like light came on, thinking outside the box, just like, okay, well, it's not abnormal for dirt bikes, even from the factory, to come with multiple locations to put your risers. Hondas usually came with 2 or 3 holes.
Right.
You know, even I think Kawasaki's come with 2 locations to mount your foot pegs.
Right.
You can go up or down with your foot
Right.
pegs. You can go forward and back with your bars. So on dirt bikes, you're really able to tailor your pegs and your bars to where you're comfortable on
Right.
a bike. And so we kind of just put that into play. And, you know, obviously I have that idea of what to do, but he's the one that is able to make it a possibility, you know? So,
Right. And these bikes are nice bikes, you know, they're expensive. So another thing we keep in mind is you didn't want to just have all those holes exposed. Like, I'm sure it's okay on a dirt bike, but on a nice bagger, you know, we wanted to make it look clean. So
No, I love
another
the
thing
plates.
yeah, so you're able to choose a location, and it's not
Flip
yeah,
it
you can
or
flip the cover, and you can't see the other holes, and it cleans up the look.
I mean,
It's
what
really
people
nice.
don't realize is you can get a stock Harley, you can ride it and put it in your garage. The next weekend, get out and go ride it, and you get used to exactly how it is. But once you put the parts on it and you make it your bike, it's amazing how much response the bike has and how comfortable it is, how much your confidence in riding. It's so night and day. So
well, it's one of those things. It's like kind of hard because, especially if somebody doesn't ride a lot, it's one of those things where basically, you know, if they don't ride a lot and they bought their first bike, or maybe it's their 10th bike, but maybe they just ride casually every once in a while. A lot of people learn to ride the bike the way it is.
right.
And they get comfortable. They find the most comfort they can
Right.
on the stock bike. You know, and a lot of those guys, you'll hear them say, like, I don't know how you ride all day. Gosh, it's so uncomfortable. Well, it's because they never tried to tailor the bike to them.
Right.
They never tried to maybe, you know, get something like our adjustable floorboards and bring the boards closer to them. Adjust their brake arm to the height they want with our adjustable brake arm. Or get our tree that allows you to adjust where your risers are. And so they're using basically the stock setting, which Harley or any brand motorcycle company, any brand car company, they design these products to work with your average person, right? So they may pick a certain height, weight, whether that's your suspension settings, whether that's your location for your handlebars or your foot pegs.
Yeah.
They design it around that. And then if you as the rider are 20% in one other direction, or 20, you know, front or back, you're just adapting to the bike that they've provided you. And ultimately, your ride's not going to be nearly as comfortable. Now, they've done the best job to build you a one-size-fits-all.
Right.
Right.
But they definitely didn't, you know, and they'll tell you this, you know, they didn't build a bike that's going to be perfect for you. And so realistically, adjusting your suspension, getting a proper set of suspension that's for your weight and for your riding style. And then again, bars and risers that are going to be better fit for your, you know, body type. And then, you know, foot controls that are going to be better for your body type, whether that is also closer to you, further away from you, higher up, lower, maybe skinnier because you like to corner more. There's so many different areas to go, and it's scary when you think about it as somebody who hasn't done it, because it costs a lot of money. You don't know if the choice you're going to make is the right one.
Right.
But that's the best part about when they are adjustable pieces, that you can buy the piece and try 2, 3, 4 different settings of it,
Right.
and then really tailor it to what you like.
Well, the really cool thing is that Josh, Galen, and I, we ride daily into the office. So we have people that come in to buy parts, and it's so great to say, just sit on my bike for a second. As soon as they sit on it, it's like within the 2 bikes, like ours or Rogue Glide, whatever, they know what they want. They're like, okay, I want to get this, and they're stoked.
Both of them said it today,
Yeah.
and they bought today. But you know, there's 3 points that you're on your bike, right? It's your ass, it's your feet, and it's your hands. So if you can get those 3 kind of figured out to comfort, to customize a little bit more. And the cool thing is it's bolt-on most of it, right?
Yeah.
It's not, you're not going and having some guy like you rejigger something. It's bolt-on. It's been tested. It's tried and true.
We do
Did
the
you
best.
say jigger?
Jiggered,
Jigger.
We do the best.
jiggernut.
Yeah, we do the best job we can to also supply the YouTube videos with how to install this stuff.
Yeah, you do a great
You know,
job with that.
so that way, you know, the end user can virtually grab the product and be at his house, as long as he has a good toolbox and a day to burn. He can usually do it himself. Now, there's a thing, like I said, Juan and I put top tree bars, risers on a bike yesterday in 2 hours. That's our 10th time doing it, maybe Juan's 20th time doing it. So it goes fast, right?
Yeah.
So we're able to know we need this. We're not looking for the bolt. We're not looking for the stuff. But I always tell everybody when they go to work on their bike, just carve out the day.
Right.
Make it a day. Have fun with it. Because
Take it slow. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Just
and the other,
don't get frustrated.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're trying to rush it, that's when you start making frustrated decisions.
Pull the plug out.
You're not doing things right, and then that's just prone to make your day a lot longer. I always like to think you're one stripped bolt away from a 20-minute job becoming a day job.
Yes.
yeah.
So just like Lance said, carve the day out, take your time, enjoy it. Like, I'm gonna help my buddy. He just picked up the full kit with the top tree and everything. I was like, dude, just bring the barbecue out. Like, we'll have some drinks. We'll hang out on a Saturday. We're all gonna go there and do it. Like,
And that's a good
I
time.
thought you weren't a drinker.
well, I'm
You said
water.
to your parents, would you rather
Yeah.
have...
My parents don't know.
So,
We're not.
like,
we're,
and I have
I
to
drink
just
water. I
mention
drink
this.
water right here.
This is the first time ever we've had a guest only drink water.
It's hot out here. We need to hydrate.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to your videos and stuff. I know there was a company I used for an adapter plate, and I got it, and I called them and asked them what's going on and how do you do this, and they're like, you'll figure it out. Are you mechanical?
Zero instructions.
Zero instruction.
Yeah.
Like, not only do you provide instruction in the packaging, but you have a YouTube where everyone goes, let me go check this out.
Yeah.
We just had the 2 guys from, or the 3 guys, what's the Highwayman Horseman?
Yeah.
The 2 of them installed, and they were just watching the video.
So the videos are, you guys do a great job on your instructional videos. They work, and you can go back, you pause it, doing this and that. Whenever we put new stuff on my bike, I go to the YouTube channel Juan, and I just go, Juan, what do I do here? And he helps me.
But we put your instructional videos on our site
Yeah.
because people are looking at that.
Yeah.
I think they're great. I mean, it's something that, I enjoy. If I'm buying something for my car, it kind of gets me hyped up, or even for bikes and stuff. I look up the YouTube video, how to install it, reviews and stuff like that. I think it hypes people up. But yeah, like you said, some companies don't even provide written instructions.
Right.
So, I
But
think
even worse, when you call them and they say, well,
figure it out.
Figure it out. Like, okay.
Yeah, I think
Not
that's
good.
one of the things that we pride
Well,
ourselves.
I'll go ahead and laugh at this one. Juan was like, dude, come look at this email from this guy. Juan's over here helping a guy do a road glide gauge relocate. No, just the adapter
The
plate
adapter
one.
plate.
And this is how nice and good of a guy he is. This customer was sending every step, every bolt step. I need a picture. Okay, what do I do now? Okay, what do I do now?
No way.
We send instructions, and there's a video on the internet. I'm like, Juan, dude, send him the link. And he's like, I gotta just help this guy through.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it was like, okay, now how do I take this off? And I'm like, there's 2 bolts holding it on.
Right.
Like, or when
Yeah.
they go, well, what size bolt is this? And it's like, if you have a toolkit and you know what you're like,
Right.
Yeah.
just
could
go
figure it out.
test fit a couple sockets
I
on
feel
it.
you, man.
I feel bad
I
for
feel you.
people. I try to keep that in mind. Like what comes naturally to me might not come naturally to
Well,
others.
sometimes someone might know that that's the right process, but they second guess it, and they're,
Yeah.
am I gonna really do this
That
right?
that's what this customer I think
Yeah.
was having, and it's funny because I obviously we all take care of him. Juan's obviously a little more patient than I am, but we all take care of him. We do the best we can and try to think like, hey, they just don't know. Like, let's not be mean. But this customer had us laughing when he was like, "Your effing instructions." So he was like, he kind of tried to rip us at first.
Yeah.
It was like, bro, like we're here to help you. Like you don't need to rip us to
Right.
get our attention.
No.
You know?
Right.
Kill him with kindness. That's what I say. He-
Yeah.
He came at us pretty aggressive, and I was just like, I'm here to help you through it. Like, talk to me. What do you need? Yeah, like I said, I feel for people, and I'm glad they support us and what we do, so I try to help them out. As
Did he
much as I can.
FaceTime you?
No. If
No.
we had
Oh,
a
we get
company
the-
phone, we
we get
probably
that.
would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what did you have a minor in therapy or?
No, I think I try to be patient. Like I said, the more you try to rush things, the more, frustrated you get. It just makes situations worse. I take a step back, like, here, let's figure it out. It's a good approach to taking in a lot of things.
And it worked when we were doing mine.
Yeah, exactly.
You said, all right, it's not working here this moment, like with one of the stock bolts we
Right.
had, but there's a reason why. So we need to calm down, think about it, and make it.
So if we
Wow.
were frustrated, we probably would have kept trying that same thing
Right.
and stripped the bolt, and then we would have probably still not had your top tree on.
Right. And then we
now.
would have dad tight.
Yeah.
You know.
So I think there's it's a good approach to take.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's definitely like you get a lot of satisfaction doing it yourself.
Yeah.
And I even like doing it because I know the threads went in good. I know I used Loctite. I try not to let anybody else work on my bike, just so that I have confidence in
Right.
it. And then if it does break down on the road, I have a way better idea of how to,
Fix it.
fix it.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, people watching, is anybody, have any comments, things to say? I know this isn't my show and I'm not running it, but
No, it's
kind of
good.
curious what's going on behind, what the kid on the computer screen is doing.
Well, let's get my mic going on. Well, first off, we're just going to get a bike pump and blow Juan's head up even bigger. Juan seems like a genuinely nice guy, but I bet he's got a mean streak. Oh, never mind. Everyone's stoked to see the 2 channels together. Everyone from 2Lane and THRASHIN. Donovan and Leia asked, have Galen and Big Lance switched over to the new Top Tree and Gauge relocation on the road glides?
Lance has, I haven't. We're probably going to run them this way for a little while so we can show people both options.
Yeah. And it is a great option.
I
I'm
would
loving
really
it.
like to switch though.
Well, I think it's good that you guys have the 2 comparisons, so when customers come in, they
Yeah.
can choose, because we're still going to continue to offer the
Yeah.
adapter plate. So,
Yep.
I have to pay full price too, right?
well, we can get you 10% over.
Oh,
Just-
over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we
Let's
got
do
Chris
it tomorrow.
Lamp saying great video on the install of that also. We had a handful of comments saying how helpful the THRASHIN video was, so that's great. Got people tuning in from all over. We got Baldwin Park, we got Costa Rica, we got Texas, we got Michigan, all over the place. What else? You guys inspired me to ride out to Sturgis this year, riding with my Yamaha Bolt. Maybe not the best bike to ride, but fuck it.
Go for it.
He's having a good time. Let's see. We said we never leave people behind. That's not true because y'all left Galen behind when he broke his phone. I believe it was a Sturgis drop.
Oh,
but
God.
I backed
Someone
us up.
remembers that?
He ditched us. He ditched us. It
Who
was
said
all.
that?
That was APOC 82.
Yeah.
So Galen actually
In my fan
left
club.
us behind.
Yeah.
He
No,
was like
Yep.
awkwardly like missing. He like
Yeah.
went off on his own.
We were worried.
Yeah, we were worried. He didn't make it into town, and then I don't know. He used an excuse that he lost his phone. That was a weird.
Yeah.
That was a weird deal.
Just showed up like 5 hours
I think
later.
they
They left
edited
me.
it.
He
I think
said
they
it was
edited
raining.
Totally left
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
He put his raincoat on and then took
It's
it
like,
off.
I don't know,
we
man.
never saw a drop of rain, so I don't know where he went.
I was going to Williams.
And
You
then
guys decided to get off at Seligman.
What do you got?
Ty's CVO Glide says, I got to get some of that waterproof thrashing gear. Y'all make it for fat guys, Triple X.
I think there's Triple X coming. yeah.
Triple X might be coming.
How-
We'll see.
what- on that gear, which is great, we all wore it on the way to Deadwood. What's the timing like?
This winter.
So this winter it'll
Yeah.
be ready?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's about it. I think there's some stuff that I'm trying to dig through, but
Cool.
mostly good stuff.
So
Mama,
hey, thank you
Mama
all for
Coury
watching.
just
all
walked
that.
in, and speaking of family, we had 3 sets of sons here and fathers yesterday.
Yes.
Nice.
You and your dad, his dad and him, and me and my son.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
The
Life's
generation-
good when
family
you can,
affair.
life's good when you can live close to your family. That's for
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. For
All right,
sure.
so what else? What do you got coming? You got rain gear coming.
sure. we don't really go in too deep, but we do have our new grips coming next week. I think.
That's exciting.
And you had some new bags that launched.
We had the colored bags that dropped last week.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yes, we had the colored bags, and then we have the grips coming. We've been working on the grips. The grips were a project that I've been wanting to do since I started thrashing.
Yeah.
It's a big investment. It's something that's pretty gnarly because you're doing injection molding, and we're not piggybacking off of anybody. We didn't go to a company that's making grips in the industry and just try to throw our name on their product. We did the research, and we did a lot of research, a lot of mistakes. We've been riding on these grips since last Sturgis.
Yeah, it's been
So
a year.
It's been a year since we've even had samples. So we were
Right.
making stuff for over 2 years now. And we went through a lot of different compounds. We went through grips cracking. We went through grips fading. We went through grips not being sticky. We went through grips, shrinking too much to try to put them on the bar. We went through all of the, ups and downs of trying to get this project off the floor. And we weren't going to settle just to sell something. It had to be something we were going to run on our bikes that we like. Between Juan, myself, and Jake, who's not here, working on this project for, again, 2 years, we're really proud of being able to release this new product. I believe the first of this next month. We're all going to have them on our bikes for Sturgis. We're stoked on that.
So we're gonna have.
So
them?
we're having them.
Yeah.
All right. I got my throttle
You gonna get
tube.
rid of yours?
Yeah.
So we got
I
black
run
coming.
thrashing.
That's the other thing. I mean, just alone once we found out the compound that we wanted that could hold up to the conditions, hold up to riding on them hard with your hands, and then all of this stuff. Then it was just a mission, just getting the colors right.
Right.
No one at our company is a chemist,
Right.
right? So we're not really in that realm. And so we're really just kind of like throwing darts at a dartboard in the dark to start.
Yeah.
Darts to a dartboard in the dark.
In the
Yeah,
dark.
Teaser. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then
So
we had another quick question. When is Thrashing going to get more sizes of the Night Rider vest back in stock? I got my large camo
Coming
bag
next
in the
week,
mail.
Right?
Yeah, I wish. I mean, if Jake was here, he could fill you in more
I
with
think
that.
he said next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay, so yeah, hopefully we'll be restocking the Night Rider in the next week or so.
I love my vest. I mean, I never was a vest guy, but I actually have the Thrashin vest that I've been wearing for like maybe a year now. It's actually can stand up by itself, just coated with road like grime. It's like really looks like an
Nice.
old Warriors,
Yeah, I'm like, and that's funny because I got a guy that he commented on our YouTube. He's like, all these full faces and you guys are wearing t-shirts.
Right.
And 100%, like if you go down with a t-shirt on, it's gonna suck, especially at freeway speeds
Yeah.
for sure. And definitely there's sometimes I think about that. But obviously the goal is not to crash. But you know
and
that
vans too.
Yeah.
I mean,
there, you know, the vest will help a little bit. You know, it is another layer of a thick canvas that
Yep.
you were sliding down the road. It's going to help better than a t-shirt.
And I think we also added the back protector, right? Was
Yeah,
that always
that'll
a
be
thing?
coming soon.
Sorry, did I leak something?
Yeah. So basically that'll be helpful. But again, it's one of those things like I didn't wear a vest riding to Born Free because it was 100 degrees, and
Right.
I really needed. I didn't need it. I was just being me. Like I wanted the wind to flow through my shirt. I really love a vest at that like kind of like too warm for a jacket, but too cold for just a t-shirt.
right.
Right? And so it's like between that like 70 and 85 degrees. It's nice to have it on. It's also really nice
It's
to layer
at
it.
60 degrees with
Yeah.
with a long sleeve tee and maybe a gauntlet.
I've gone down
Yeah.
to
And
50
and you're
degrees
just like nice
and been stoked, you know.
because
Yeah.
it keeps your torso warm.
Yeah. And
You
it's
know?
tight.
Yeah.
So it keeps your torso warm. And so if you put like a flannel on the vest, pair of gauntlets, so the gauntlets keep the wind from going in your
Yep.
flannel. And then so your sleeves aren't getting too much wind, your body's staying warm, but you still feel, you know, very maneuverable. You're not kind of like claustrophobic in a
Right.
big jacket yet.
No, I
So-
dig it.
Well,
Yeah.
we're definitely heading into
You
summer.
were never a vest guy.
Never a vest
you weren't
guy,
gonna
but
do
now
it.
I live in the vest, you know.
You said you'd never do it.
I think I'm
And
going to
then
start
your
wearing
son
no
creates a
shirt.
product.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course, you know.
And so now you're a vest guy.
Yes, whatever he creates, I'm that guy now. I'm going to start wearing no shirt at all, just a vest, and
There
like
you
some
go.
leather straps
That's once
around
you
my
get.
arms.
That's once you get to
They're-
Sturgis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
right in.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, what you know? So yeah,
I mean, and so then like no underwear and chaps.
yeah.
Is
Well,
that our
I
next
mean,
move?
Dom doesn't wear underwear.
Right,
Oh gosh.
Well, then no pants and underwear.
Right.
And chaps.
right. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
And a vest with no shirt.
I can go in cold weather pretty deep.
Beautiful.
I don't need to really
Naked.
warm up, but that's why I like the Atlas jacket.
So
Best
tell,
thing for me is a pair of long johns under my jeans, and I'm feeling real good.
Yeah.
tell me this then. So you guys went to Sturgis last month?
Yep.
Was it last
The
month?
middle of May.
Yeah.
You went to Sturgis
Yep,
middle of
last
May.
month.
I haven't seen you guys go on many big rides since then.
It's been a weird year for us. You know, we did this whole thing in January, which was the Route 66. February, we get on Pan Americas. Your father breaks his leg, so then we had to be creative. Like we did the Jeep drop and we did some other drops, and so it's been a weird kind of a year for us. And that was our first big trip, you know, really since January.
But
And that doesn't normally happen. Usually it's once a month we're out for 7 days.
Yeah.
or more. We do other trips in between.
Yeah, but it's generally kind of a 7-day thing.
I
and-
guess my point though is like you guys are doing Sturgis just back to back.
Back to back.
Yeah, so
Are
that's
we
kinda
taking the
cool.
same route that you took?
No.
So 2 different routes to Sturgis, but Sturgis back to back.
Yeah.
And so do you think that you guys will be a little bit bored since you just did
Not
it?
at all.
No.
I'm looking forward to it right now, like
But
crazy.
I would love to go back with the guys and the gals, and do it off Sturgis.
Really?
It's so cool.
Why don't you just start a 2LaneLIVE Sturgis?
GoFundMe.
No, like pre-rally.
Oh.
Like you guys set a
We
date.
could do that.
Like you guys set a date, you
That
know,
everyone
at a
shows
random
up.
year
Yeah.
that the viewers that you know, obviously maybe they've never gone, they've kind of always wanted to go, or you know, they just kind of want to experience it also when it's a little slower. I mean, how rad would that be if you guys, you know, kind of like blocked out a hotel on Deadwood or something
That
like
would
that,
be cool.
and you guys said, hey, we're going to be in Deadwood from
And
May
it would be
13th.
Deadwood because when we went into Sturgis, nothing is the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
they
I mean,
take the
it's-
stop signs
They
down.
took
No
everything's
way.
changed.
Yeah, there's nothing, no stop signs. That
I'm
you
like,
would
dude,
normally
you're,
stop.
you're about to run a stop sign. I'm slamming on the brakes and I look and there's just no
there's
no stop
nothing-
sign.
It's so weird, but so I would do it in Deadwood. That's,
All right,
that'd
so
be a
come
cool
on, guys.
deal.
2LaneLIVE Deadwood Days Rally.
But
Yeah,
There
come
it
on,
is.
guys.
to
Let's do it.
your point, we've had several comments of people saying how they want to go off season or they've been off and they dig it.
All right. Well, I think
And
it'd
it should be
cool-
like a late, you know, spring or something like that.
But
Yeah.
can we make it a Thrashin' 2-Lane Life?
I think we just get involved, but I think you guys got to do it at like Deadwood Cycles out there.
Oh, they'd do it in a second.
Or you do it somewhere, one of these facilities that already has opened their arms to you guys, and then
Yeah, the
maybe
whole
they wanna
town
get involved.
opened up to
Yeah,
us,
we have the
actually,
key
which
to
was
Deadwood.
kind of cool.
Beautiful.
It's awesome.
We could do something, but part of that was inspired by the taco guy.
Well,
Yeah.
he went
He
to
went
the,
to Deadwood to get a tire fixed.
Yeah, per Luke's recommendation, I went to go get my tire fixed, and I ended up having like 5 or 6 hours of free time. So I ended up hitting up a lot of the places you guys did. Not a lot, but a couple. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of how we
You
started
did a
talking
walking
about.
tour, right?
But to
Yes.
Galen's point, you inspired that too, because you went to the museums. It's like he did something we did, and we got to beat that.
Yeah, and the rest of the Thrashin crew was beating me up because they're like, "You came to Sturgis to visit a museum?" I was like, "Well, it's either this or hang
We got to
out."
get him in the museum this time.
Yeah, Deadwood has a lot of great history.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys covered it and all.
I want to go to the cemetery up on top of the mountain this
Right,
year. I'm
right.
going to do it no matter what.
Yeah, there's a couple of historical figures that are buried
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and yeah, like I said, Deadwood is amazing, and yeah, for sure.
And we're going to Sturgis, and then after that, we got the drag show, and then after that, we're
Yeah.
going to Kentucky.
what? Oh,
we're
you guys
going to
are
go
riding.
to Letitia Klein's, and we're going to hang out. She's going to show us Cave City, so we're going to go to Nashville.
You guys are riding there.
We're going to take.
We're
get-
flying to Nashville.
Oh,
Well, wait,
gosh.
we have Eagle Rider bikes waiting for us.
Yeah,
and we're
flying
going
to
to fly in
Nashville.
Look at
with
they're
our
probably
wives.
flying private. They're
No.
getting a little over their heads now that they're getting a little bit of followers on YouTube.
The bikes are just gonna show up at the final place. Like, yeah, we
Right.
rode.
They're gonna
here.
ride in on a trailer like it's like one of those
Green
Geico
screen.
commercials.
Yeah.
So our wives are going to go with us. We're going to have a great time.
Private?
Yeah, no.
No.
So that'll be cool. That's going to be a week-long adventure. I mean, and we'll be busy forever.
Well, we'll have enough content even with that through the end of the year. But so what that does, then we can go like October, November, December, and just go enjoy rides. And we'll film some of them, but not be pressured to film.
And we'll film.
No, he will film.
Yes.
It's getting more and more. If you look at the drops, it's more and more Josh.
And then,
I mean but that's the thing is that Josh is putting like some of these edits that he's putting out. There's stuff that people work on for a year.
right.
I mean,
like a team of people.
yeah, I mean, he's putting out drops weekly that guys will spend 6 months working on.
Well, you know what we call him now. I just came up with the name just right now.
What do you got?
He's Octopus Man. He's got 8 arms.
What?
He's got 4 computers
Octopus?
going. He's editing on 4 different computers. He's shooting with
It's-
everything.
Is that a James Bond
Right?
movie?
It's funny that you mentioned that, though. I think last year there was something, I don't know what event, I don't know who put it out, but there was this like documentary that someone put out. It was like an hour long, and he put it out like 6 months after the thing. Now, I get it. I mean, that's not everyone's full-time job. That's not this, that, and the other. And it was still like wasn't quite there. But
Well, I think there's
we're trying to do
a
it.
couple things. The comms have really helped us because he can tell us to get in frame, out of frame. So it is on the road, and that's why we at the end, if people watched it, and you'll see 2LaneLIVE Productions. It's a production company. We're having conversations about moving, and then he can mark things. But there's no doubt that just over the last 2 years, his skills have just increased immensely.
Yeah.
With the layering, he's putting bird noises in and some truck sounds going by. It's just,
Yeah,
it's
that's
amazing.
a full experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely incredible.
I know, like, just watching some of your videos, I feel like I'm watching a movie, like a full, like, yeah, it's crazy.
And it's not fake because that truck does go by you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes all you hear is wind.
But I can't use any of the GoPro
Right.
stuff because it just sounds like.
But to
Yeah.
your point, I mean, it's like you can get so. Josh is he wants perfection, so sometimes edits may take a little longer because he won't accept anything but what he.
But it's
thinks
his
is-
it's his artwork.
Right,
It's
right.
his piece of, and so it's our piece as well. But it's really his his Picasso on everyone that he does.
Right.
And I like to think that sometimes I stay here pretty late, but usually when I'm heading out and it's 8:30 or 9, I see the Road King out there. I'm like, oh, he's editing.
Yep. I do my best work late at night, but I do
Well,
decent work from 9 to 7 as well.
And we've gotten increasingly busier in the store, and so we're all taking calls with parts. And like your dad, I walked in today and I got my sales today, and I'm like, okay, who'd you talk to? And Josh, I heard him talking to a guy about a seat, and right in the middle of when he's trying to edit, and it's just, we're going to need to have people.
But you know what's really trippy is they are blown away when they find out that we're the guys shipping their parts, or we're
Well, that's
the
what I
guys.
was going to say. I want to say one thing that makes such a difference, in all of our brands, but specifically what you guys are doing is that, you aren't, computer techs who figured out how to do SEO work, so then you find an industry and then you just, do the best you can to cover the internet with products and make money off an industry, right? You guys basically, you sell what you use so you can stand behind it. You can help somebody install it over the phone because you've done it. You guys can stand behind it and say, we put 50,000 miles on that product this last year. We know it works. And then, I know just because I'm here enough that, your guys' profit that you guys do get, it just goes back into your rides. It's not like you guys aren't over here, selling and building this empire to then, as I jokingly said, take private jets. You guys are doing it to basically to fund the next trip, because these trips aren't free, and you guys are riding out to Sturgis, and everybody viewing this who rides to Sturgis, the trips aren't free. It costs money to do it, and you guys are putting out great content to inspire. And so it's cool that, basically the money that you guys are getting from the motorcycle community, you're kind of pouring right back into it with inspiration for others who can't ride year round, maybe can't ride anymore at all, or are just getting into bikes, or just need inspiration on what their next ride should be,
And we think that too, and that's why we started it. But we also want to be your biggest dealer when everything is all said and done.
Nice.
We're going to be doing $10 million a year with you.
Oh, perfect.
I'm
Perfect.
telling you.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, for us, it's
We have aspirational growth. I mean, we want to do, but when we started this, we were actually going to be in a Sprinter van, and he couldn't go because Steve Primesberger was going to be there,
Right.
peddling motorcycle parts. And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, start your YouTube channel. And we looked at each other and we said, well, should we do it? And we said,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's what kicked it off 2 years ago.
And a real cool thing is how the circle works. We were going to edit. You said, hey, get iMovie and edit. And we went and sat there with a guy, and he was showing us how to do it. And we're like, we're not doing this shit. We can't do this. So we walked over to your warehouse, and Rob Scott gave us Josh's phone number, and he's been with us ever since. And that was 2.5 years ago.
And he rides
And
a
he
motorcycle.
rides a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Great.
That's
fit.
our story, and we're sticking to it.
Yeah. Well,
But-
boys, how long do these go?
I don't
We're
know. Where are
good.
we at, Josh?
Well, my mic is
In an
back
hour
on.
and
We
16.
are. It's a good question. I'm using a different program today, so
Hour
I got
and
no
13.
clue.
Like
but
I said when
hour
I started
13.
this, I got a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Let's break it
And-
apart.
Well, I would say this. If you guys can, you got to subscribe to the Thrashin YouTube channel.
No,
You
no, no,
gotta-
no. Not if they can. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. And subscribe to ours as well, because both channels have something really good to offer. I enjoy and love our rides. I love watching our edits. I love being part of the production and making this stuff into your living room awesome. But I really have a good time watching the Thrashin stuff as well, especially the ones when we're in them.
Yeah, I mean, we should be in more of those, I think.
Well, just wait. In 30 days when we go to Sturgis, you guys will be
We'll
in
be
more
in
of
them.
them.
Yes, yes.
But we also want to thank you and Courtney. You guys have helped us a lot as we've launched the brand.
Yeah.
Not only for kicking us in the ass to just do a YouTube channel, but our families have been so supportive of what we're doing. And it's funny, too, because they're proud. Like my son said yesterday, it's interesting to see you walking around and doing different things. It's so different than your financial services career you've had.
It's easy to be proud of somebody that's doing what they like.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so once you start doing what you like, it's your days become more enjoyable. And Juan and I always talk about this, you know, what really matters in life. And at the end of the day, were you happy? And so it's easy when you're around motorcycles, especially if you love them.
Yep.
And, you know, there's obviously all of us have hard times while we're working, whether it's trying to help a mean customer out or, you know, trying to install something and you're stripping a bolt. There's always a rough time.
Or working the warehouse for 7 days in a row.
But it makes it easy when it's doing something you love.
Right.
And that's a cool thing because none of us here are afraid to wear different hats and sweep the warehouse or lift the box or sit at a desk and say hi to someone or go ride, you know,
Yeah.
dig it. So,
So
hey,
we're proud of your brand.
Yeah,
We
thanks.
appreciate you jumping on. We're proud of the new guy he's got a whole following starting to come to him on
Yeah.
YouTube. I'm
Go
telling
watch
you.
his videos.
No.
Go watch our videos. Get to know Juan a little bit. He's hilarious. I swear, you know, if you were to ask 8 months ago if people would be recognizing him at Born Free like they were, even, I mean, they were running past me. They were Juan!
But what
Dude, do you find any tacos here? I'm like, what the heck? So go check out our videos. Thank you guys for having us on.
Thank you. And what
Yes.
you see with him, though, is genuine.
yes,
Like
we're all
it's-
genuine and that's
yeah.
awesome. But you guys pay attention because we're coming up to 30 days. We're going to be going to Sturgis and we're going to have a lot of fun to share with you. So, hey, with that,
See you down the road.
go.
Catch
And
you
I'm
later.
going to do some
See you later.
shameless plugs. Subscribe to Thrashin's YouTube. It's in the description. Subscribe to our YouTube if you're not. Check out the Eagle Rider link if you ever want to rent an Eagle Rider bike and help support our trips and our mission. And yeah,
Where do they find that?
in the description as well.
All
And
right.
we will
Our
now
link trees as well on all of
See
our
you down the road.
Instagrams.
All right. Peace out.
deuce
Peace.
exit. I got to figure out actually how to stop this. So
So right now it's like a news channel or city.
Yeah,
just,
after hours.
yeah,
Fucking live! We're gonna do it live!
We're doing it live.
Luke Leatherman.
yeah, this is interesting.
That was good.
It's not
It's not set down.
I mean, I can press exit and hopefully it doesn't. OBS is currently